Good morning, sir.
Hi, morning.
I need to look and see why you were moderated.
I was wondering if I could maybe speak on the event early on the meeting, because I'm supposed to jump on another call in about 15 or 20 minutes.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Hold on, I'm about to have 40 tabs for ClickUp. I have the desktop app, but it's not easy to share, unfortunately. So give me a second. Hi, Garrett. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I'm back from my travels.
We missed you yesterday, but
Oh, sorry, I was on the road. I should have maybe told you.
No worries. No worries. Anyone that missed you yesterday will see you in a couple of days, so it'll all be good. We just got a couple intros, Emmanuel, and then you'll be good to go, because that developer advocate check-in always comes right up at the top. So we're going to give it just another minute or two to get people in. We'll start our intros, and then we'll get going. Okay, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5's good. 5's not bad. Great. Right. So 1, 2, 3. What are we missing? Apologies, y'all. I'm just tracking down some people's. Okay. Manuel, have you heard from 8 Pro today?
From who?
8 Pro, me chat.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get started anyway. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you all may be. Welcome to the Open Source Committee meeting. Today is May the 14th, and feels like January was kind of around the corner, but here we are. We do have a new elected body, so I do want to extend a very warm welcome to them. I'm Tex, Open Source Program Manager here at Intersect. I'm also the Open Source Committee Secretary. If you have not already gotten the vibes this week, you'll notice that I do post quite heavily in the Discord. I try my best to communicate with you all on as many channels or as much information as I can, as quickly and as timely as I can. That being said, I will also mention just a note about kind of cadence and how the meetings run. Oftentimes you may see me taking a big lead when it comes to the agenda or the quorum of the meeting, or not the quorum, the facilitation of the meeting. That's just to keep things moving and going. I am going to pass off to Georg here in a second for his intro and outro, since he is part of the prior term. But when we do get a new chair elected, I will try to work as best as possible with the chair to allow them to facilitate that. I'm not going to overstep their bounds unless it's something that, you know, keeps the meeting from moving forward. And that's usually when I step in. But happy to take any questions or additional clarity on that. One last piece before I hand off to Georg. I am pasting an intro in the chat. This was part of the general expectations for committees, and I don't know that that made it across. I might have to check because not all the sessions may have happened yet. But what this is your name, your current position, if you are part of an organization where you have that position or any other affiliation, and then if you have any conflicts of interest. This is something that we do include on the minutes. I will work a little more diligently on trying to update this in case you have something that is different from week to week or even month to month. But what this does at the very least is in chat, non-disruptive, provides the rest of the committee members with where you are, how you're showing up, and if there are any decisions in the call that we have, this will kind of notify the other members, hey, this person, you know, might abstain or might hold back from this decision because they're directly involved. So yeah, any questions on that intro piece? All right, if no questions, I'm going to hand that off to Georg for the welcome and intro. And actually, I'm sorry, I will put this put the agenda up here. I realized I didn't do that. Just so you all can see. That's just pretty similar to what we had, what I posted in Discord there. But yes, as Sebastian did, please just go ahead and pop in your intros in the chat. And Georg, over to you.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. My name is Georg Link. I'm the outgoing committee lead, and I joined 2024, 2 years ago almost. So I've been part of this journey for quite some time. And I'm happy to share a little bit about where we've been, what we've done. And I'm also curious to meet the incoming open source committee members. Would it be okay if we do a quick round? Just everyone state your name, where you're from, and maybe one sentence on what you hope to accomplish being part of the open source committee.
Hi, I'll go first if nobody else is stepping up. My name is Dominic Inkelman. I'm involved loosely with Cardano over the past year or so, but haven't really got started. And I'm hoping to be more involved to learn from you guys to support open source projects.
Awesome. Welcome, Dominic. And what part of the world are you from?
Oh, originally US, Germany, but currently living in Japan.
Oh, wonderful. I'm German originally. I live in the US, so I can.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, awesome. Next up, I see 8 Pro.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm 8 Pro, so I'm called by name Kambale Meshak, but mostly known as 8 Pro on social media and Cardano community. So I'm a Congolese, but I'm based in Kampala, Uganda. So I also started my journey recently, like 2 to 3 years. Now I'm also hoping to. It was a great pleasure to be part of the great community, and we love contributing in Cardano ecosystem. So it's like I said, it's a pleasure. So we'll be working together and learn from you guys, and also help grow the community together. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Welcome, 8 Pro.
Thank you.
Olivia.
Yeah, thank you, Jim, everyone. I'm Olivier from the Democratic Republic of Congo. In the Cardano ecosystem since 2021, I think 4 or 5 years ago, right now. I've been in Intersect since its early stages, and yeah, I still contributing through Goma, Cardano Hub, Wada Hub. I'm a trainer, and also I am a developer front-end. I thought to develop with Goma Hub. Yeah, front-end developing, and then sometimes Cardano using ICANN. Yeah, I'm happy to be in this committee. I've been elected for the open source committee as well as in MCC committee, and I think as a open source committee, I'll be happy to learn from everyone here and also contribute where I will be able to contribute. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you, Olivier. Pavel. I think, Pavel, you're still on mute, maybe, because I can see your camera came on.
Yeah, sorry. Right now it's okay, right?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm Pavel. I am sitting in Poland, Warsaw. I've been in with Cardano since the middle of 2018, so pretty veteran in this space, mainly on a technical side. Right now, initially working for IOG, right now working for Cardano Foundation. I was engaged in several open source projects. So what I would like to do is, of course, to learn all of from you, but also I've got several, I would say, interesting ideas how we should probably, what kind of projects we should identify as critical, and also what we should do in order to make sure our ecosystem is going to survive AI agentic mode of programming, so CLIs, things like that, and why we should kind of encourage through financing proper projects to be as well as best as possible to prepare for them to be used and to continue and to boost the ecosystem. Okay, thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Pavel. Tex, how much time did you plan for me to do my quick intro outro?
I would say we could probably put just a quick pause on it and go to the developer advocate check-in, and then you can close up or come back in on that because I know Emmanuel said that he had a time commitment here. So
Okay, so I guess I'll go next. My name is Emmanuel, developer advocate here at the Intersect Open Source Office. For the last 2 weeks, I would say we have been mainly focusing on two things away from the regular milestones that we have. That is the developer advocate or the developer experience survey. We are preparing a report for that. Hopefully in the next meeting, we'll be able to table that with you and some of the solutions that we will discuss as part of the pain points that have been highlighted from the survey. The other thing has been planning for an event. As you know, we have probably discussed this before. We were supposed to join Tex in the Open Source Summit, but we couldn't because of visa denial for one reason or the other. But we still want to participate in that, and Tex had the idea that we can have a remote event and probably just air it so that he can showcase what the developer advocates are doing under Intersect. So we have been planning that event. We have a physical event planned for Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, here in Nairobi. We'll just be taking guys through because we've had discussions about the Cardano repos and how they work together to make the Haskell node. We're going to try and have like a workshop where people can sort of try and set up a node, both the relay node and a block producing node, in a span of maybe 2 hours. We do have a key type prepared. I can just share it here. So the participants will be able to clone a repo and just follow along as we tell them all the important things they need to know, new terminologies in case there are any that we find along the way. what a node is, how to set it up, when you want to, for example, set up an SPO, how you go about it. So the 2 hours will just try and do as much as possible to give all the information that we can within that time span on how to set up a Cardano node. So this is the repo that we'll be going with. We're trying to capture, actually this will also be a good place to just see how difficult it is for different OS, in case different OS, people with different OS are trying to set up Cardano. This will be a great point to just see how difficult it is to set up the Cardano node on the different laptops that people have, get their insights from the beginners, people who have been there. So it's a good thing that we're doing. And yeah, I guess that's the 2 things that I wanted to share with you guys.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Always great to hear what you're all doing with the as developer advocates to help new members or longtime members upskill and become more involved with the Cardano ecosystem. Thank you for all your service.
I noticed we had a few other developer advocates while we're on this agenda item here. Did anyone else want or need to chime in with any updates? Dan or Uche?
I just have to add something. We are still working on the. Can you hear me, Gerard?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Dan Baruka. I develop advocate at Intersect Open Source Committee as well. So we've been working on PR in the developer portal about the developer pathway. So we got some few like feedback, and we are still fixing it. We hope that this week we'll have we'll fix those correction and have the PR match in the developer portal. Hopefully this week.
All right. I don't see Bora here yet. It's very possible that he's on leave. Bora is actually a developer advocate at the Cardano Foundation and recently elected to the open source committee. So he's one of the main feedback providers there on the developer portal. So I apologize, I can't provide more context on that. If we need to continue discussion in future weeks, we will have, again, a direct feedback provider and feedback acceptor within the session. So, yeah, if nothing else pressing from Haroon or Uche, Georg, I guess it's back to you.
Awesome. Real quick checks, how much time do I have?
I'd say about 5 minutes. We do have a rather packed agenda here. So,
all right, sounds good. Well, I just want to thank, welcome Dominic, April, Olivier, and Pavel for joining the open source committee. I'll tell you a little bit about the background and what we've been doing so that you have you get a chance to also ask questions. When the open source committee was formed and Intersect got started, the idea was, how can we make sure that the Cardano ecosystem is sustainable and we can have a lot of developers come together and work in an open source way? Because we've seen open source works really well building enterprise grade applications, whether it's Linux or Kubernetes or the Mozilla browser or the Apache web server. You know, those are just some examples of where open source has really shined. And if we want to build the blockchain that people trust, that enterprise built on, we need to work in a transparent, open way where different stakeholders can come in and say, here, this is our use case. How do we make this happen? How do we work on this? And that's where open source can shine. But open source has several problems. Open source sees maintainer burnout, projects don't get support, community management is hard, developers want to work on creating new features, but not necessarily work on documentation or onboarding new developers. And so how do we provide the necessary framework and services to the open source projects that make up the Cardano blockchain and all of the apps that are built on top of the blockchain? And that's where the paid open source model comes in. So we've worked with industry experts across open source, across blockchain, to come up with a set of services and programs, we call them programs here, that can help in this situation. Whether it's a maintainer retainer program, a bug bounty program, code for us, there are many different things that we put into this program, and we got funding for it. We got, what was it, close to $3 million US, 6 million ADA. And so we got this from the treasury. So the D reps said, hey, this sounds like a really cool idea, go and try. And we did. So the last year and a little bit more than a year, we built out the policies, we built out the processes, we built out the programs. We got participants to join these different programs, but not all of them. So we've tried a couple things. As much as we had time to build out, we've overtaken ourselves a little bit, I'll be honest. So we have returned money to the treasury, for example, for a mentorship program, because we just didn't have the capacity to build that out. But we did build out several programs that work really well. And that's what we are handing you. That's what my handover to you, because we have tried these programs and decided these work, these don't. And in the new budget, we are focusing on the programs that we've been very successful in. And so now you are coming in at a phase where we take the learnings from the programs and we get to improve them, we get to build on them. And that's going to be your job. Listen to the Cardano ecosystem, listen to the people who are engaged in the programs, what works, what doesn't work, and how can we make these programs better. That is your job now at the open source committee. And you're not coming into this blind, right? You have guides, Tex here as our secretary. And do you have other titles, Tex, along with secretary? I should know. Tex keeps us on track. If there's any questions, Tex knows where it is. He's been with the program consistently. You also have longtime or members that have been with the committee already, and they have some background knowledge. They have seen these programs get built and work in action. And so when I hear that you want to support open source and improve the tool use and help grow the community, all those things that you just mentioned during the introductions, think about how you want to do that, because you have a lot of flexibility in how these programs are built out. And make your mark. Really go and say, okay, I want to own a certain part of this program. That's the only way. We need to divide and conquer. I want to own this and drive this forward so that you can leave your mark here. And it's a great opportunity. I hope that our request for funding gets approved again, that you have more money, because our current project funding is going to run out. And so I hope you get the new budget. And then I'm going to be very curious to see in a year or two what you have built. So that's my send-off. I think we leave you in a pretty good space and lots of things to do. So roll up your sleeves, and I wish you all the best. So welcome to the Open Source Committee. Maybe I should.
That's my apology, Victor.
Okay, sorry, I'm doing multiple things as per usual. Anything else, Georg? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, if anyone has questions for me, feel free to ask now or reach out to me later. I'm on Discord. I may be slow to respond. That's just because I'm not checking Discord all the time. But you'll get a hold of me. Feel free to ask anything that you want to know. I'm still here to support you.
Alrighty. So we're going to keep it moving here. For anyone who has not seen, obviously the agenda is on the screen, so hopefully you've seen it by now, but pretty busy here. Got a lot of things going on. First thing is bug bounty program payouts. I do not see Mike here. I do. There he is. Mike, did you want to give any just quick input on this? Mike is the security officer here at Intersect, if you guys were not aware. Basically, we're just the top level approval on, yes, we agree to spend these funds, but just know that the Security Council has already approved and deliberated on the amounts of the payments. So that screenshot is in Discord, and I've also put a poll in Discord. So you do not need to signify here, but please, based on anything that Mike has to add, signify your approval or denial of paying those bug bounties. While you're in Discord, there's a secondary poll as well for the maintainer retainer program. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later on. But if you have taken the chance to kind of get integrated here a little bit, we've got about eight more maintainers to get onboarded here soon. And I do need an approval from the committee to move forward there. So please drop your, again, approval or denial on that as well. But I'll pass this to Mike for a minute. In case he has anything to add.
No, I think you said it all, except probably the fact that we're way overdue with this one. So if you could do that as soon as possible, I would greatly appreciate it. We're just waiting for your approval to move forward with the invoice, with the invoice ask. Sorry for my French. The invoice instruction, that's what I wanted to say. So yeah, we're just waiting for your approval, and the SC already approved it. And if you have any questions related to those particular bugs, I can disclose them because they're already fixed technically. So feel free to ask if you have any questions.
And I will actually give a moment or two of space here if I can ask everyone to double task for a minute. Please do pull up Discord so that we can close these votes as soon as possible. I did set them both for 24 hours. They are both timely, both in that past due column here. Try to move things forward if we can. Georg?
Do you still need me to vote, or is the transition complete and it's up to the new committee?
I think it would be up to the new committee.
Okay.
You're clear. Okay. I do have to keep it moving, so I'm going to trust that you guys are taking a look at that. If you need me to pause before we continue because you're trying to put that vote in, then let me know. If you need to pause because you need more information, please let me know. But again, we are trying to close both of those today if we can. Okay. Next up on here, I do have Open Source Summit Minneapolis, a final update for everybody. So the event is starting on Monday. It is up and upon us. We are going to have people traveling as soon as probably 24 hours after this meeting. It's what I would expect. 24 to 36 hours at the latest here anyway. Attending, let me see if I can actually pull this up because I have it right here. So I can actually change this. So we have myself, Bora, and Marco from the Cardano Foundation. Georg Jordan, Sebastian, Uday, all representing OSC. From the community is where we filled the rest of these seats here. So we have James Meidinger, who's with Moneta or USDM. Ian McCullough is a music artist, but also somewhat developer, and he's also on the MCC. Harsha Gopali is from Gimbal Labs originally, but is also still an active developer in the Cardano community. Sam Leathers, if you're not familiar, is the basically Cardano lead over at IO. James Dunseith with the Andamio project, and Adam Dean is still a current and active Cardano developer as well as a former OSC member. So I'm very hopeful as the secretary is I took a little bit of liberties here to just put the event together and have a good crew. So I'm hopeful that that's aligned. If we had had any additional time, I would have tried to bring on some new members, but being that we're all over the world, sometimes that is more difficult to coordinate as well. So that's what we have for this event. The other thing that I will share, I don't think I'm blurred here. I might be a little bit, but I did want to show everyone the shirts. So we do have a Cardano branding. And I actually had to pick these up. There was a whole slew about it, but here is the back of the shirt. And
yeah, it's very good.
Is it?
Yeah, sorry. Can't see it.
By now.
Yay!
So quite simple, a little bit similar to the shirts that we had back in Vienna, if anybody had seen those. But long story short, at the end of the day, we do have shirts for this event. The plan is for Garrick will only be joining us for Monday and Tuesday. So the plan is actually for us to wear these shirts, the attendees as a team on Tuesday at the conference there. Figured that, day one, we might still try to look a little more professional because it is talking with people. But day two, we'd have a little bit of flexibility. And Garrick, if you'd prefer to change into a button down or something for our birds of a feather, we can do that.
I'm fine wearing those t-shirts and being on brand.
Perfect. Happy to answer any questions anybody has about the event, but I will kind of push that over to Discord or DM just for the sake of time here in the meeting. Okay. Next up here is the meeting cadence. So obviously we are missing one or two people. Again, I assume that is PTO related at the current time. But the question would be, is there a better time, especially considering Dominic being in Japan, that we could meet? And we can consider not only a different time, but also a different day. But yeah, what are your thoughts? And Paul, I'll get you into Discord there. I thought I had you already, but. I've just tagged you in case I didn't have the right thing. 10 p.m. Is that the current time the meeting is set for, Dominic?
Yes, for me, local time, 10 p.m. is when we started, which is reasonable. Any later would be troublesome, but it's not terrible for 10 p.m.
Okay. Is everyone else good or okay with the current meeting time? Follow-up question, and there's no pressure on this. If we were to move this an hour earlier because this does conflict with the civics committee meeting, would that cause a problem? Tuesday is the one day I really can't change to because there's already 2 committee meetings on that day. There was a third, but it's since moved. Okay. All right, looks like we are staying put then, which is fine. So no pressure. I wanted to kind of lead from the front with the other secretaries here and see if I could move things around to avoid conflict. But hey, you guys are our committee members. You're the community, and we abide by what you can do. So I appreciate your vocalness here in this case, even if by text. All right. The chair elections and process here. So let me expand this. I thought I had something. There we go. Okay. So again, a little bit more from a facilitation perspective. As Georg is our outgoing chair, I've had a chance to take a look at the committee since last year, and even everything this year. It's been 4.5 months. See who's actively involved, who's openly aware of all the different programs that we have going on. And so I would like to suggest to the committee, I feel it would be good to have Sebastian Pabon step up as a leader here. I have already spoken with Sebastian. It's my understanding that he would be comfortable taking on this position. We cannot do the election here right now. We will actually need to confirm this in line with all of the other committees in early June. So that'll be in a couple of weeks or roughly around the time that we next meet. I think that our next meeting, I'll still be the primary facilitator. And then after that, we will have our elected chair. But we will be looking for a vice chair as well. So again, I'll follow up on the exact process to make sure that there's, if not one election, then two accordingly. But the preference would be, as I understand it from OSC, to have a vice chair be from the newly elected group. What that means, you newly elected are here for 2 years. The term that was elected back in October has the opportunity to stay for as many as 18 months, meaning in October, if they must step away or choose to step away, they can. Otherwise, they are here until April. And so Sebastian is in that group, but still, of course, can stand for re-election. But at the very least, by the time we get to next April, we would have a vice chair who's been seeing the response, or doing some of the responsibilities, seeing things from that top level perspective, really cluing into it, and hopefully could just assume that chair role with a quick vote from the rest of the committee here. So there's been a little bit more of an expanded process that's been written out for Intersect, but the previous process that we had while we were still maturing committees was you have a chair and a vice chair, and the vice chair takes over for the chair at that next election cycle. So it is kind of like pre-voting for the chair, but assuming there's no other issues or conflict of interest or votes of no confidence, then it's a pretty solid cycle there. Happy to take any questions on this, but that is an initial outlay, and more information to come wider for all committees in about a week and a half, about 10 days. Okay. I do not mind monologuing, but at any point that you all feel like stepping in, I'm happy to hear from you as much as I'm happy to see your emojis there. So feel free to step in at any time. Moving on to the next piece here is committee member onboarding sessions. So I believe there may have already been one this week. There is another one. So if you were not able to make the first meeting, please do recognize that there is another session, and we do encourage you to attend at least one of them. I've been told they are the same content, so it is just a matter of showing up to get the basics that every other committee member is getting, and basically get a general onboarding that you are entitled to. There's a bit more onboarding that I will jump into because it looks like we may have moved pretty quickly through the agenda, which is good. But these last two ones are going to be a little heavier, so we will go from there. Any questions on anything previous here? So anything back to OSS Minneapolis, committee, the chair elections, or onboarding?
Real quick text, Minneapolis, what to expect? And I missed, I think, the meetings, preparatory meetings. Those are a bit late for me. So if anything, quick for me.
Thank you.
Sorry. Taxi, could you hear me?
Go ahead.
I was asking that anything for Minneapolis, any preparatory thing for me to know, or any specific instruction other than T-shirt?
I think we were actually also missing you yesterday. I don't know if that call was too late. It may have been. I think it was closer to midnight your time. Nothing super crazy. I'm still gonna try to connect with everybody on Sunday night once I've arrived. Do make sure to try to collect your badge on Sunday. That way you're not stuck in the line on Monday morning. So once you arrive, once you get checked in and settled there, you should be able to go over to the event, I believe as late as 8 p.m. to collect your badge.
Okay. We'll do that. I'm reaching Sunday afternoon, so I will do that. Yeah.
Let's see. And I apologize, I didn't get that session recorded yesterday. I was mobile for the first half of it, so.
No worries.
Let's see here. Attend general safety, visit any venue, no. About register. Additional information. Oh, schedule that.
Tex, I'm going to drop. Any more vote coming up for today? I voted already for those two in Discord, so up no issue if I drop now.
No, that should be fine. Just catch up on anything that we covered in the last bit here. Again, mainly we're going to move into a little bit of onboarding.
Okay.
Okay. Georg may have been sending this to me, but we do have, I'm sharing this here now. You have until 6 p.m. Central Time, which is the local time for the event, to pick up your badge. So if for some reason you are arriving later than Sunday at 6 p.m., you will need to pick it up Monday morning. But if you're arriving before then, please do try to prioritize picking up your badge if you can. Make the process easier. Okay, I got like 4 pings, 8 pro, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question about the vice chair position. I don't know what is required, and what do you expect from someone who is running as a candidate, because it's the only position for newcomers. Thank you.
Yeah, so again, we understand that it would be a newcomer filling that vice chair role, so there is no limitation in that regard. If you choose to put yourself up, it's really going to be your commitment to that role that we are going to look to see from you. And I say we, I'm speaking on behalf of the committee here. So if you're committed and you're able to make that, if you're able to make that commitment and that's a responsibility you'd like to take on, we absolutely encourage you to do so. And I'm happy to have anyone that's motivated to do so. So I say I am. I end up having all the information. So
So just real quick requirements. As a chair or co-chair, the important thing is that you have time to dedicate to this beyond just showing up to meetings, because it does involve staying on top of documents. It does involve having a good picture of what the different programs are doing, responding in Discord, being a little bit more active than a regular member, because you are also going to be a leader in this. And so there's just a little bit more that's expected, or that would be really helpful to be effective in this role. So if you have, yes, I have the time, yes, I want to do this, I want to be really engaged, understand how things work, so that you know you're not going to understand everything right away. Probably usually it takes a while to understand what's all going on, but then as the chair or co-chair, you're in a really good position to understand this. And that's how I ended up going to Builderfest and why I'm going to the Open Source Summit, because as you know, I have that background. So it also opens possibilities and options and opportunities for you. Just be ready for the amount of work that comes with it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Apologize, I'm open mic, but if you guys hear that, I'm usually always pinging this off. Anyway, let me go ahead and jump back to the ClickUp here. So Google Drive and ClickUp. I'm actually working on ClickUp right now. So if you are a new member, please pay attention to your email. Dominic, I won't take any. I won't feel bad if you don't respond until the morning for you. So that's fine. But we'll get that invite over to you. You should already have access to the Google Drive. Let me actually see if I can share that. Well, let me start with ClickUp because I'm here. So in ClickUp, we have a list for agenda. And so I will put out the dates, and right now I'm putting these together, but in future I will put these together with the chair and vice chair. And at any point you can reach out to me either in the OSC internal channel or via DM to let me know that something needs to be on the agenda. Additionally, in here, this is just the primary list. I don't have another name for it. We haven't changed it. We do have a couple of categories here. So programs that we were trying to get started is the Accelerator and Project Support Services. Currently, these are held up right now by me getting access to the funding for these programs. So there's a lot more for us to discuss there. These other programs here previously have been decided to be returned. That is the Code Forest and the Summer of Code program. These will be returned at some point here in the near future. I am still pushing those along as well. What this will mean at the end of the day, we did have a 10 program layout. So we returned 20% of what we were not able to essentially action. But I am trying to improve us from fully actioning 60% of our programs to 80% of our programs. As we move closer along or along in the budget process when it comes to decisions, we should have some things to market on. Over here in this milestone active category, we do have the remaining programs. So the maintainer retainer program, tooling sustainability program, bug bounty program, developer advocate program, the security incident management program, and the travel and events. So travel and events is close to done. The summit is pretty much going to close us out, but we may have a small amount left over. I'm just waiting on all the final amounts to come through. The security incident management program, that is currently what sponsors Mike's role, but also Intersect is supporting with that. Security incident is tied closely with bug bounty. Bug bounty is a program that Intersect has taken on for the future budgets. So you will see a little bit difference if you've already seen or when you were looking at the OSC proposal. The developer advocate program is ongoing, but they are currently in their last quarter. So we have them, I believe, until the end of June is how that works out. But then we will be doing some final reports on that, and we will start having sessions as a committee prepping for changes for the new program, which we do currently have planned to expand from 4 developer advocates to 6 developer advocates. Tooling sustainability, this is definitely where we're going to need some work here. So we have not received a ton of applications for tooling. I think we might have a couple to look at. I'll have to double check on that, but we do have quite a bit of money in the tooling budget that we can just get spent. So we do need to put some head weight towards that here. Anything that we get signed under contract, we are good to go and hold on to those funds. Anything that is not signed by contract, by the date I'm going to give you all is September 1st, we can basically assume that those funds will be returned. So the date is just a little bit beyond in September, but I will tell you September 1st for right now, just so if you are marketing this or speaking with others that we get those applications and contracting done within a timely manner. The last one, which is the first one here, is maintainer retainer program. This one is finally moving along. So I encourage you to look at the Andamio project if you have not already. But the good news is that I finally got money into the treasury, the Andamio treasury, for the pre-pilot. And I also was able to work closely hand in hand with Darlington, who's already one of the approved maintainers. He has actually been able to collect his first milestone. So I'm going to move through that with the other 5 to get their first milestone. I will very quickly put up their second milestone because they are technically already into their or completing their second month. I think they're actually they all should be in month 3 right now. So I've got to knock out 1 and 2, and then we can start harping on them a bit more for the level of input they provide as far as their proof of serving in that maintainer retainer role. The project is open, and Sebastian can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe the what it is, other than just you looking on chain or through Andamio scan, is actually shown publicly within the application for the maintainer retainer program. So I will try to get you or pin you the links there, but if you go to app.andamio, you can look around and see, you can browse projects and you can see the OSC maintainer retainer program. Sebastian, do they require a token to browse projects?
No, not at all. The Andamio scan is an open tool. You just go to the URL and you can observe there all the transactions and the flow of the money, basically. But if you follow the money, you can follow what's happening in the program in real time, right? Real time.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. So happy to take questions there. But on maintainer retainer program, I think that was actually the next thing that I had on the agenda here. So I will get back to Google Drive, I promise. Bear with me. But let me actually pass off to Reshma for a moment here. She had put something together and wanted to speak for a few minutes.
Thank you, Tex. I'm sharing my screen here. I think you can see that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we can see your screen. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to quickly align everyone on the next steps for the MRP community maintenance selection process. At this stage, all applications are available in ClickUp for reviewing. So our immediate focus can be application evaluation and scoring. So let's try to complete the initial scoring early next week if it's possible. While review the applications, I think we should mainly focus on relevance to the selected project, actual evidence of contributions, maintainer experience, a security and CI/CD understanding, documentation quality, and overall community engagement. We should probably give stronger consideration to applicants who can clearly demonstrate real involvement through PRs, reviews, governance work, issue triage, documentation, or ecosystem coordination. It's for not just general interest. Availability and commitment are also important since this program expects ongoing participation. Once scoring is completed, we can shortlist candidates above the threshold and aim to complete interview scheduling next week itself. The following week, we can conduct interviews and split candidates among committee members based on their availability. After interviews, we can add interview scoring and consolidate everything into a final tally. Ideally, we should target finalizing the selected candidates from the current applicant pool by the end of May. Also, since we have newer committee members involved in the cycle, it would be great if we can help guide each other through the evaluation process so we maintain consistency across reviews. So if anyone has questions, especially newer members, please feel free to DM me on Discord anytime. Thank you. I will share this in the Discord. So I have added the links to the links in the second slide for scoring sheet. Yeah, I have shared in the chat box also, and I will share this document in the Discord.
So the only thing we are seeing right now is the Google Slides.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sharing Google Slides only.
Okay, sorry, I thought you were showing the scoring sheet.
No, I didn't. I'm going to share in the Discord.
Yeah, that's actually still
Thank you.
internal until screenshots are captured for reporting purposes, so that's fine. Okay. I did want to rehash on votes while we are down to 5 minutes. I did see at least one of the new members chose to abstain by explicit message there. I do need to encourage, though, that we need to keep these things moving forward. Mike has offered to provide any additional information needed for the bug bounty. But again, we have brought on, appointed a security council that is very highly skilled. If you're familiar with names in the ecosystem, I could tell you, but Giorgio Zanetti from CF shows up every now and then. We do have Kevin Hammond that does have a strong hand. Again, very high experience with the core code base of Cardano from a Haskell perspective. We also have John Latowski from time to time, Carlos Lopez de Lara, Andrew Westberg. That's just a couple of names, and I don't mean to name drop at a meeting, but that's pretty fair, open information, I would say, as to who's on the council. But anyway, security experts have decided upon this and conferred to award a certain value. So as long as you see no issues with us continuing with the proliferation of the program, please vote accordingly if you feel comfortable to do so. On the maintainer retainer, the only two that have not had their project interview is Andrew Westberg and Dan Baruka. That's because everything went on pause while I was trying to get Ondomio set up. So they will have their project interviews soon. However, both are pretty solid contributors when it comes to Cardano in general. So I don't anticipate that we'll have too much of a problem. I believe both of those are going towards community projects. Andrew being Aura with TX Pipe, and then Dan going with Evolution SDK. So I think those would be some pretty good fits. But Mike, you have a hand raised.
Yes, I was going to add some quick precisions about those three because they're already fixed, so I can disclose them, no problem. The Cardinal CLI fix is related to the one of the sim link within the tool. So it was not a big. All of those three were not big issues, but it was still assessed as relevant and were to be fixed. The second one is the DB sync. So it's mostly the way the Smash protocol and the DB sync in general was fetching the off-chain metadata. There was an issue with that. Yeah, the SC believed there was a good vulnerability worth fixing. And the DMQ node is, well, back then it was not in production yet, but now it is part of the node, and it's something that has been worth fixing. Again, it's not big issues. The reward attached to it is the least the least severity one, the severity 4, which is considered as low. and we already have the SC approval on it. So I would be very grateful if you guys could approve this one ASAP, because I'm only waiting for you to move forward. That's pretty much it. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I can answer it, no problem. These are already fixed technically. We're just waiting for you guys.
Okay. We are basically right at the time for the meeting, so I don't want to hold anybody beyond at any point that we can ever avoid that. If you have not voted in Discord, and again, you feel like you have an ability to, or if you're comfortable to do so, please do submit your vote. Again, I have both of those open for 24 hours, but I will look to close those as soon as we have positive votes on each one with a quorum body, which would be 6 or more. 6 or more votes in total with a positive outcome, or whatever the outcome may be, whichever direction. I don't need to encourage it. You have to approve it. But as long as we can get those closed today, again, it'll keep things moving here on the back end. Sebastian.
Just the final note, Mike shared in Discord a Q1 report about how he's working all these kind of issues, right? I suggested, it's a good report. I recommended to please go and read it. I suggested also if it's possible, some kind of monthly report about these kind of issues. I think it's a feature that can help us to take and accelerate the decisions we have to make around this. Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, you're free to go. I appreciate you guys coming. Thanks so much. Welcome once again to the Open Source Committee. And again, as you may see, there's a lot going on. So please do, especially as we kind of have a little bit of downtime next week, you may not see me as active. Please take some time to get caught up. If the new members wish to stay behind, I'm happy to kind of run you through Google Drive for just a little bit. I do assume the other members are quite familiar with it, as we've been working with it for a while. So I will offer that. But as of now, I will close the meeting and stop the recording. And again, if you're new and want to stay around for Google Drive, please feel free to do so. Thanks.
Bye.